TSA Prohibited items list, what you can't bring onto a plane. Now, I've always wondered how exactly to navigate TSA's do's and don'ts list. The official TSA website has a list that goes on for miles and miles, and if you're anything like me, you've probably dozed off quite a few times while going through them. Well, that's about to change. I loaded up on caffeine, scoured the TSA website, went through the customs regulations, and read through tons of online articles to come up with an ultimate list of don'ts that'll help you breeze through airport security. So, let's get started. So, first things first, what's up with the mysterious liquid limits? Now, you need to pack your bags for a vacation. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? I'm willing to bet that you're thinking about the liquid limit. Usually, it's the first thing you think about. Which ones should you pack in your check-in bag? Which ones should you take with you on the flight? It's a tricky thing to navigate, right? And while the TSA has come up with a 3-1-1 rule, it's still kind of confusing to understand. What's the 3-1-1 rule? Well, basically, you get 3.4 ounces per container of liquid, and it needs to fit into one quart-sized clear bag, and you get one per traveller. Now, if your liquids fall within that 3-1-1 parameter, you should be good to go for packing it in your carry-on. If it's bigger than that though, it's going to get stopped by security. That's simple enough, but it doesn't answer all the questions. What if the liquid that's left in the container is less than 3.4 ounces, but the container is bigger? Is it still okay to bring it? Well, the answer is no. TSA will be going off on whatever the container says on the label. You should also avoid overpacking liquid foods in your carry-ons. Now, what are liquid foods? Well, one example would be honey, which has a gel-like consistency. It's a no-go for TSA security and will be taken away. Peanut butter is also a big no-no, and if you're planning on eating some PB&J on the plane, that won't work out well for you. Next up, the powder problem. This might come as a shock to you, but packing powder in your carry-on isn't going to go down smoothly for you either. Technically, these are different from liquids or liquid foods and are completely legal to bring through security, but if you do bring them, then you should be prepared to spend some extra time at the security check. Anything more than 12 ounces is going to be put through extra screening and testing, so it's best to avoid the hassle altogether and just keep them in your check-in bag. Now, if you're someone like me and you like to pack light and only take carry-on bags with you, then here's how you solve the powder problem. Bring them in a small, clearly labelled bottle so that security knows what they're looking at. Moving on, reading on a flight might not be so relaxing. Who doesn't like reading on a plane? I think it is the best time to read because you're not distracted and have nothing better to do. But bringing a book on a plane isn't always so easy. Certain foods, powders, and other materials obstruct clear images on the machine, so TSA recommends packing these things in a check-in bag instead of trying to carry them on. Books are usually one of these problematic materials, especially if it's an unabridged version of Stephen King's It, or even Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. If you find yourself in the TSA line with a book like this, then better be prepared for some extra screening. Thicker books are sometimes so dense that officers have to visually inspect them and open them up to make sure that you're not concealing anything inside. One way I try to avoid this issue is by loading up on e-books. Kindles work well too, especially if the alternative is a thick hardcover book. Next up, weapons. This one is obvious, and it might even seem a little funny, but you'd be surprised to know how many stories I've read of people accidentally carrying a weapon with them. Guns, swords, and big knives, those big-ticket items, are pretty easy to avoid. However, the real problem emerges when it comes to the smaller things that are used in everyday life. For example, let's say that you're coming directly from a camping trip. When packing your bag, you just quickly shove everything in your carry-on. Sleeping bag? Check. Tent? Check. Pocket knife? Wait a minute, that shouldn't be anywhere near your carry-on bag. This might be an innocent mistake, but the TSA doesn't know that. So it's best to thoroughly self-screen your bags before heading to the airport. Other things you want to avoid packing in your carry-on luggage are tools and household items. These are very similar to weapons, so they may seem kind of obvious, but it's a mistake that anyone can make. For example, you'll want to avoid packing things like a screwdriver, hammers, pliers, and maybe even household appliances like a blender. Of course, they can't really cause harm on their own, but these things do tend to get stopped at security. Moving on, certain sports equipment might not sit right with the TSA. The next thing you'll want to avoid packing in your carry-on luggage is sports equipment, at least specific sports equipment that'll cause problems. Of course, not everything is going to be stopped, but things like golf clubs, hockey sticks, ski poles, and really anything that's not going to fit in your carry-on bag and/or could be used as a weapon should be put in your checked luggage. Now, all of these things may seem obvious, but they can be easily forgotten if you're not thinking about the logistics of travel. So, just make sure that whenever you're packing just a carry-on bag, think about the process of going through security. Your main aim should be to keep the process as simple and hassle-free as possible. If you think your sports equipment's only going to make that process longer, it's best just to check it. Next up, it's best to have a spark-free flight. The next thing you're going to want to avoid packing in your carry-on luggage is flammables. Now, this is a very broad term. So, if you're confused about whether the thing you plan to bring falls under flammables, you should look it up. But some examples are things like a lighter, anything with gas, and certain batteries. Basically, anything that can start a fire is going to get stopped at security, and you shouldn't put it in your carry-on luggage. There have been wild stories of people bringing fireworks, fuel, and even models of explosive devices in their carry-on bags. And while these might end up being fun stories that you share at the dinner table a few years later, just remember that it's best to avoid such situations as they can go very wrong. Moving on, aerosols are a big no. Aerosols are generally very safe, and cosmetic aerosols are okay to bring on a plane. However, they do have compressed gas, which can become explosive when it comes to air travel. Aerosols are also typically highly flammable. Now, that's a deadly combination of weapons and fire that you want to avoid. If the can is damaged, dented, or has a broken nozzle, chances are that airport security will be confiscating it. These present an unacceptable risk of exploding or catching fire, so it's best to avoid them in all cases. Now, cosmetic aerosols don't really raise an alarm for the TSA agents, not unless the can is visibly damaged. But when it comes to non-cosmetic aerosols, that's a different story. If you carry an aerosol that isn't considered a cosmetic or toiletry item, it will not be allowed to fly. This includes spray paints, mechanical sprayed lubricants, and aerosol cooking oil. Another thing to remember, by the way, is that aerosols also need to adhere to the same carry-on luggage restrictions as other liquids. So if it's more than 3.4 ounces, it's better just to leave it. Moving on, you might want to find another way to distract your children, because some children's toys are also a big no. Having cranky children on board is a parent's worst nightmare. So they usually end up shoving random toys in their bags, hoping at least one of them will calm them down. But be careful, because these toys might end up making you late for your flight. If you plan on bringing a fortune-telling magic 8-ball with you on a plane to keep your child distracted, think again. This toy might have too much water inside it. The same goes for other items which might have a gel-like liquid in them. Your child might love playing with them, but for the duration of the flight, they're going to have to find other toys to play with. Lastly, be careful of what you buy on your trips abroad. TSA is pretty strict about allowing foreign items to enter the country. So if you're thinking of buying an exotic plant, or maybe you sell a pretty souvenir made up of straw, you'll have to think again. Customs officials will put these through extra screening before you enter the country, even if you don't see any pests yourself. Because of this, you may not even make it to your plane with that straw or coconut leaf hat. Officials in a lot of Caribbean nations confiscate materials like that because they know the US regulations. If you're coming home from Hawaii, Puerto Rico, or the US Virgin Islands, you may also have to leave fresh fruits and vegetables behind. Unless you bought the Hawaiian pineapple at the airport where it's been USDA inspected and specially packaged, you may have to toss it if it doesn't pass inspection. So there you have it. Before packing your bags for your next adventure, ask yourself, do I really need that lighter fluid? And is that bottle of nail polish really worth the hassle? By avoiding these prohibited items, you can ensure a smooth and stress-free journey. Let us know if you have any more tips in the comments below. See you in the next video. Bye!